Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Claudette and I am your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. And keeping in line with my storytime theories, I'm going to give you the story of what happened while I worked at the public health department. Now, I may have to break this video in two, otherwise I may end up with 30-minute video, and I know the attention span how it goes, so I'll try to break it up. Anyway, let's get into it. So when I graduated high school, I went to I wanted to go to the Edna Manley College for the Visual and Performing Arts, which is what it is now called, but back then I think it was called the Institute of Visual and Performing Arts, right? But the name was changed. I was a part of that, which is another story for another time, but yeah. Anyway, but my mom, I don't know about you, but as a Caribbean person, Jamaican person, we all know what our Jamaican parents think of becoming an actor. When I tell my mommy I want to go to a school of drama, that's how we used to call it. She said, "Figure what? Why go to a school of drama? You can't do nothing with that. Try to learn to be a teacher or something." Now, I was so, I mean, a lot of decisions I made in my life were not based off of what I wanted, but because I allowed people's influences to change my mind about things and to do things differently. Anyway, so I decided, okay, no school of drama for me. Let me go to community college and become a teacher. Now, my qualifications, the GCE subjects that I got, allowed me to be trained as a teacher in English language, English literature, and integrated sciences. Now, I did get a good grade in biology, but I never did physics, I never did chemistry. I was never any good at any of these, but they thought I could be trained. So, okay, I got here and started training. Going to school, doing okay. While there I met my boo, which will focus later in the story. But here's what happened. So during this training, I think it was after the first or second semester, I don't know, I don't remember, it's a long time ago. I think I was 18. Yeah, no, I was 17 at the time, so I'm 62 now. So the details, some of which are going to be a little bit fuzzy. Anyway, they sent me out on teacher training, which means you go into a school and you help the teacher, and you're actually seeing how it works and working with the teacher to train the students. They had sent me down to the Windward Road all-age school. The classroom I was sent to was a big room that had 4 classes in there, right? And each class was separated solely by a blackboard. You hear me? There was a blackboard or chalkboard for you people that was independently standing there separating the classrooms. Now, each class has 60 students. So you're looking at 60 for 60 students, or 240 picnic sitting in this enclosed space separated by blackboards. Now the teacher has to control her 60 students, keep the noise down, and try to teach them something. Believe me, the behavior that I saw coming from these kids, and I don't think they were like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, that behavior made me realize that if I stayed in this field and tried to become a teacher, I would end up in jail. Yeah? So I quit, which became a trend in my life. I quit that. I told myself, "Mommy, teaching is not for me. I need a job." Now, my mom used to work as a CHA, Community Health Aid, which is a new program that the government had started that time, which allowed, women who are not qualified for other forms of work to gain employment. They get training, they go around and help people. CHA is now a big thing. And she was one of the members of the pilot project in this. This project, for want of a better word, was being run under the umbrella of the Ministry of Health through the KCC department at the Public Health Department. So because she was located in the same building as the public health department. My mom knew the public health inspector. I don't think it was a public health inspector that she spoke to. She spoke to the chief medical officer. Anyway, I got an interview. I went in with my qualifications and I was employed as a public health inspector trainee. Now, in this field, there were like about 20 men and 2 women. Maybe one of the 2 women. Remember, I'm only 17 when I go there. Alright, so I'm young. I'm out of high school. I mean, by this point, I was still a virgin. I was, I grew up in the church, still going to church, still very, Christian and biblical. However, I was very easily influenced. And so I would get up all gung-ho, excited to go to work. I'd be at work on time, 8 o'clock. Now catch me on the road. As 8 o'clock come, I'm in work. I do what I need to do. They sent me out on training with my supervisor, who took me out and showed me what to do. Now, one of the things that we are required to do, I don't know what the purviews are right now, but I know that back then you needed to go into your specific community and you'd go from house to house to check to see that, the public health standards are being met. We also do it for hotels as well, but as a trainee, and the restaurants. But as a trainee, I would not be given this responsibility so early. So I was assigned an area that I was to visit. Somewhere out in some lower income area where I did not even know. This is where I discovered that people had pit toilets in Kingston. I never know some people have pit toilet at all. Anyway, so I would go religiously, do my work, take my taxi, write up the return fee, because you get a travel allowance if you have a car. If you don't, you take a taxi and you're reimbursed for it. Now, after doing this, I don't remember how long I did this for, but I was called into a meeting with about 4 or 5 members of the inspectorate who pointed out to me that my work ethic was making them look bad, and I needed to change the way I do my job if I wanted to fit in with the rest of the inspectorate. Now remember, I'm still only 17. I'm like, okay, what to do? So they taught me, first of all, you don't need to come in here so early. You can leave your house and go straight to wherever you need to be going. Plus, you don't really have to go. You can just say you go, write up an address, claim for the money and all of that. So, they trained me well and I did what I had to do. I mean, I don't mean that I didn't go out at all, but there were many places that I said I was going to go to that I didn't go. Alright? Now, my supervisor was the office drunk. He would always come into the office smelling of rum, and everybody just accepted him for who he was. One day while I was in the canteen, Mr. Supervisor says to me, Miss Bailey, please, I'm begging you a pum pum. Now, us Caribbean people and Jamaican people know what that means. I think you can infer what that means. And I'm like, if drunk, he means nothing by it. A couple of months went by and nothing came of it. And he called me into his office one day. He said, Miss Bailey, do you remember the conversation we had in the lunchroom? I said, yes, sir, I sure did. He says, well, I wasn't joking, I was serious. And now, in checking your work, I see that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So here's what. It's either you give me what I asked you for, or I'm going to get you fired. Okay? Now, I think by this time I was older, but I was still a little naive, And I worked for a while and then I quit. Now, give you some backstory. This is just one thing that happened to me while I worked at the public health department. I also got pregnant while there, which means like I was there up until I was 20 years old. And this is where I had my accident. Now, if you look at my face, alright, let me see. If you can see, when I smile, well, it's not so bad now, but my face tends to lean towards this side. If you notice right here is a little puffier, and stuff. Now, while working there, okay, you know what? I will leave this section for another video because it has a lot and it's going to make the video really, really long, and I don't want to keep it too long. So if you're interested to hear what else happened to me when I worked at the public health department, come right back. I'm going to do this video. So to do that, hit the notification bell. Please subscribe, leave a comment. Have you ever been SA'd while at work or have to leave because of a threat of SA? Please let's open the dialogue and talk back to me, alright? Thanks for watching.